Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Moving Markets Podcast. It is Wednesday, June the 25th, 2025. U.S. stock market has been open for just a fraction over 30 minutes, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down a little bit, but the S&P and the NASDAQ are both up, both a little carryover from yesterday. The Dow is, it looks to me like it is mostly down on United Health and Travelers. They seem to be the two stocks that are taking it down the most. Now I've got, this is showing 90 points down, and it did get to that. Let me refresh this page really quickly, because on my TV in front of me, I'm showing that the Dow is only down 10 points. And now that's showing, I don't know why, the European market. Let's go back to our US markets. There you go. And this is closer to where we're actually at right now. Still a little bit of a delay on that, but down about 15, 16 points. S&P up 12, 13 points almost. NASDAQ up 108 is what I show on my TV in front of me as a live thing right now. So 30 minutes into trading, got the NASDAQ doing well, up 0.5%, S&P up almost 0.25%, and the Dow Jones pretty darn flat. 13, 14 points to the downside is less than 0.05%. So I would call that flat. Here's what, this is probably going to be a short podcast because there's probably not a whole lot to talk about. The reality is, this is just a little bit of a carryover from yesterday. There's nothing really new to report. Donald Trump is at a NATO summit right now. He's speaking right now. I see, I don't have the volume on, but I see him live on the television set right now. So far, nothing that he has said has really shaken things or moved things dramatically. There's a little bit of back and forth about a leaked report yesterday from the Department of Defense about whether or not the bombs that were dropped on Iran's nuclear facilities did as much damage as what was being reported initially. Trump and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth are saying pretty emphatically that those sites were completely destroyed. Not mincing words at all. They're saying it was completely destroyed. But this report that was leaked is suggesting that maybe the damage wasn't as much as we thought. Maybe we've set Iran's nuclear program back a few months. But we'll find out. I guess ultimately we'll find out, and I think people are in a little bit of a wait and see mode on that. It has not so far disrupted the ceasefire. When you get a ceasefire between two warring countries, it's often very, very fragile in the early hours and the early days of the ceasefire, and I would say we're still at a point where that ceasefire is still quite fragile. However, so far so good. So far it's holding, and this is important to the markets. The markets are going to react in a very positive or a very negative way as we get more news coming out about what ultimately happens. So the other news going on, it's not really moving things yet. Jerome Powell is on Capitol Hill. He's testifying in front of some different congressional panels. He's being urged from both sides of the aisle to cut interest rates. I believe the last time I looked at it, the CME Fed Watch tool is actually showing now definitely a little bit of an increase from where it was previously. Sorry, my screen went blank on you. Definitely a little bit of an increase from where it was previously, but still not showing the betting market really strong for a rate cut. There are a lot of people urging Powell for a rate cut, but if this is to be believed and be accurate, and granted, there's a lot of time for this to change. We're not at the end of June yet; it's coming right up on us. And this next meeting is July, or the next announcement is July 30th. So there's still about a month and a week left. So this could change pretty dramatically, but right now the betting market is saying we think this is going to stay the same. but this has increased. This was down around 5-6%. And has gone up recently. So, well, a lot of time left on that. Maybe too early to speculate on what's there. There are a lot of economic reports that will come out between now and the time that decision has to be made. So, Jerome Powell is speaking today. A new home sales report just came out. It looks like it was low. From what it was expected to be. I don't see that is moving things right now in the stock market. That report, like I said, just hit the wire as we started. People might be focused so much on what President Trump is saying that they're just not paying attention to this yet. I'm not going to pretend that this couldn't still affect trading. So anyways, that's where we find ourselves. Nothing new to report on spread trades. Micron, I think, is still down a tiny bit. Amazon getting better. CrowdStrike, I showed much improvement on CrowdStrike, at least initially. Don't know if they're still up. They were up 12, 13 points. Let's see where we've got them now. There you go, still up 12 points. So having a nice strong day, that'll improve our trade in a nice way. And Palantir and NVIDIA were both up last time I looked. So triple play, we added a long iron condor this morning on AMD. I hope you were watching Discord for that. I know of at least one person that got in. My reasoning behind the AMD trade is they're moving into overbought territory. There's either going to be some profit taking, which could so easily bring them back down to or below 135. I mean, it wouldn't even be much of a sell-off. Just a little bit of profit taking could bring them back down there. Or they're going to continue up, and 145, 146 is well within reach. So that's why I did that. But I went a couple weeks out on this one. I didn't do a long iron condor that expires at the end of the week. Didn't like the numbers on that. Most of you were watching, I believe, and saw that we got out yesterday of our Meta trade and our Palantir trade, both with good profits yesterday. Took a little bit less on the Meta trade than what we had targeted originally, but that's because we got it in one day. So it was kind of a no-brainer to get out of that. Google looking good. I think Google has maybe moved slightly profitable on our trade. I know it's called Alphabet Incorporated, but I'm still calling it Google. I believe they will make this technical crossover right here. The RSI has already crossed. I think the MACD is going to be the lagging indicator right now in crossing over. I think you're going to see the 5 and 20-day moving average cross. And if you draw a diagonal line along those higher highs, I think that pattern is going to continue. It hasn't really been a strong break of this pattern right here. It was just enough to technically drag it across on technical indicators, but I think that's going to reverse, and I think you'll see Google still go up. So we're looking phenomenal. I'm excited about where everything is at. I think we're off to an amazing first half of the year. I want to just keep adding to it. I keep talking about doing some adjustments with collar trades. I promise I am going to get to that. There's nothing that urgently needs to be adjusted right now on our collar trades, but there's enough stuff that has gone in the money that we want to either take some profits and move some things around. I believe every one of our open collar trades right now, well, I guess Snap is the exception. Snap is not profitable, but everything else we have open is profitable, and some of them very nicely profitable. So we'll work on those for the rest of this week. And in the meantime, I don't have anything more to talk about this morning. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be back on right at 30 minutes after the open of the market tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.